Our DHS Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas will be joining Press Secretary Jen Psaki in a few moments in the briefing room as his agency begins reversing Trump administration border policies for people seeking asylum and for those already separated from their children. So joining me now, NBC White House correspondent Jeff Bennett in the briefing room, NBC's Julia Ainsley, Kimberly Atkins, columnist for the Boston Globe, and Maria Teresa Comar, founder and CEO of Voto Latino. Julia, you've got the breaking news right now on what the administration is about to announce. Tell us.
That's right. So this is good news, Andrea, for those families who were separated under the Trump administration, particularly for families where the parent had been deported. Up until now, those parents had to decide whether or not they would bring their child back into dangerous conditions or leave or stay separated with their child in the United States. Now we understand today the Secretary Mayorkas will announce that the task force will give those deported parents the option of either bringing their child back or actually coming to the United States themselves. That carves out special protections for families who were separated and the parent was deported. They can now come back to the United States. On top of that, they're providing mental health services, health care, transportation, legal and career and educational services, and none of that cost will be passed down to the families. This is far wider than what we had originally expected from this task force. So far, the Biden administration had been reluctant to give those kind of specifics on what the task force will do. They also say that they may consider siblings of children who were separated if there's a humanitarian reason why they also need to be brought back and reunified with their families if they've also been separated. So this is big news coming today and a lot of specifics coming from the Secretary that we just hadn't gotten yet to this point.
Finally, let me turn to, I think, the most powerful and heartbreaking example of the cruelty that preceded this administration, and that is the intentional separation of children from their parents. I am the chairman. I have the privilege of serving at the president's designation as the chairman of the Family Reunification Task Force. The First Lady has driven us to action through her personal commitment to this moral imperative, and that moral imperative is to reunite the families and restore them to the fullest capacity that we as the United States government can do. And I should say that we are not doing it alone. We are working closely with counsel for the separated family members. We are doing it along with the countries of El Salvador, Guatemala, and Honduras. I spoke with the foreign minister of each of those countries this past Friday. We are doing it with non-governmental organizations, and we intend to and will shortly harness the capabilities, resources, and desire of the private sector. This is not only an all of government, but all of society effort to do what is right. We are hoping to reunite the families either here or in the country of origin. We hope to be in a position to give them the election. And if, in fact, they seek to reunite here in the United States, we will explore lawful pathways for them to remain in the United States and to address the family needs, so we are acting as restoratively as possible. I am very proud and excited to announce that we have hired Michelle Branet as the executive director of the Family Reunification Task Force. She began late last week. Most recently, she served as the senior director of the Migrant Rights and Justice program of the Women's Refugee Commission. She has dedicated her entire career to human rights, and she is an extraordinary talent that will bring justice and results to this effort, along with the resources of the Department of Homeland Security, the Department of Justice, the Department of Health and Human Services, and every other member of the federal government that has resources to bring to bear. It is because of the men and women of the Department of Homeland Security and across the federal enterprise that we will dig out of the cruelty of the past administration, and we will rebuild our nation's asylum system and all of our humanitarian programs, of which we have been historically so proud as a leader in the world.